we are joined with J.Pappas.
Hello.
Pappas.
Pappas. Either one works.
So you said your family has a little different ways of saying it?
Yeah, one side says Pappas, one side says Pappas. So like, I don't know. It's so confusing.
It tripped you up still, apparently.
Yep, exactly.
I have the same thing. My last name's Giannetti. Apparently, when my family moved from Italy, some people put an I instead of a J. So some people pronounce it like Giannetti, I guess.
Right.
I don't know if I can know, though, because I'm in America and not Italy. But that's how they do it there. Anyways, thank you for coming in.
Yeah,
You're a local dude. You're at Berklee.
I do go to Berklee. I'm in my last year, and I'm almost on my way out, but it's been awesome. Like, Boston's a cool city. I love it here. It's really fun.
You've been living here for 4 years?
Yeah, this is my 4th year. And then, I mean, I spent quite a while here, honestly. I spent a lot of COVID here.
Mm-hmm.
I was just cooped up in my apartment, as one does. But, yeah.
What neighborhood do you live in?
Well, I used to live in the Fenway neighborhood, but now I'm in Back Bay.
But no, that's interesting because your Spotify, it says California born, London raised, Boston based. Tell me about that.
It's a little weird. It is all over the place. I was born in California, but my parents were living in Taiwan at the time, actually. So they just had me in the U.S., and then it was off to Taiwan as like a newborn. Then they moved to Korea, where I spent like the first 6 years of my life. So I did elementary school over there, then went to Australia, and then was there for like a year, but then 14 years in London. London's pretty much my home, honestly.
Wow.
So,
that's super interesting.
Boston's like the first place I've lived in the States.
Wait, so was this your first time being on your own?
Boston? Yeah.
That's cool. That's a cool connection that you always have with Boston.
Right, exactly.
But London, so what?
Yeah,
Like, you had to make that move by yourself? Were you so nervous?
Oh no, I was with my family.
Oh, they came here too.
Oh, from London
to Boston?
Oh no, yeah, I had to make that move by myself for school. I was honestly excited. I mean, I didn't grow up around a lot of musicians in the UK. There wasn't a huge music program at my school, so like coming to Boston to do music for school, like I was like so psyched. I was ready.
Like the music school. It's Berklee. Like that's the place to be.
It was really exciting. So I was just like stoked.
So tell me this: you're majoring in, you said, audio music production?
Yeah, production and audio engineering at Berklee.
So what's like your end goal?
My end goal? I'd like to continue being an artist. I really want to push that. I also do produce for people on the side, and I'd love to be a mix engineer and do all that kind of stuff. That all the work I can do from home and within studios, just because I have all this knowledge now about how to do it, it'd be a waste not to.
So bringing it back to Berklee, here's a question that I have, and I don't mean to shit on Berklee because proud former, not even former, current student. Do you find, let me figure out how to phrase this. So like Berklee, great stepping stone for sure. It's like the music school, but do you find it hard to also like be an artist while you're also a full-time student and actually work on your artistic career?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, especially these last couple of years, it's been really hard because, I mean, I'm kind of early into my senior year right now.
Yeah.
And it's just hectic. Because you got to do a lot of projects for the school that are also music related.
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of getting the balance between your own stuff and that. It's super hard. But it's doable. I've been able to do it. It's just very exhausting. And I guess that's what they get you ready for. Like, that's the industry.
Of course.
So.
And plus, like, I mean, there's a reason Berklee exists. It gives you so much more knowledge than you don't even realize it's useful until you've had that knowledge. I feel like, especially on the back end of things, I'm there for music business. The shit that I learn is like, so I'm like, damn, like this is how I know that this is information that the artists I'm working with don't know, and I can definitely instill it upon them so they don't get fucking sued. Speaking of suits, we had an artist a few years back. Not years back. He started releasing a few years back, and he just randomly kind of fell off. And we just found out today that he got sued by his manager, and he doesn't even have that many streams. So like, it is something that no matter what stage you are in your career, like it is good to know.
Yeah,
both industry, like production wise, and just like business wise.
No, I agree. I mean, at Berklee, I've taken a handful of business classes, and it's super helpful, especially the law ones, like knowing the...
I'm in the law class right now.
They're great. So that's stuff you have to know, and like every artist should know that so they don't get screwed over.
Yeah, no, definitely. It also kind of scared me, but again, once you have like a small grasp on it, it definitely helps. Obviously, want to talk about your music. That's literally like why I was so happy when I found out you were from Boston. I can't, or not from Boston, but like in Boston. I can't remember exactly how I even discovered your music, but I definitely know that I came across Train to Imperia first. Okay, yeah. Before I even talk about your music, for those that are listening that might not know you, what do you describe your sound as?
It's very, I don't know, ambiguous, I guess. Like genre for me is very fluid.
Yep.
I just love listening to all kinds of music. I know it's cliche, everybody probably says that, but like
no, but it's true.
I genuinely do, and I like to try different things with my music, like every release. Keep it like kind of consistent with the themes and the tone, but like style-wise, I like to explore and all that. I kind of take that, like Kanye is one of my favorite artists, producers, just because like every single album is super different in its sound, and that's just something I love. Like I want to do that, and I would say I'm working on that because the album I put out, it's very like jazz-based, very mellow.
Chamomile?
The album Chamomile, which is out on all platforms right now, is...
Take a pause, go stream it.
Go stream it. It's very jazz-based, and I think that's reflecting all the stuff I was like surrounded by at Berklee my first couple of years. But now I want to make it a little more high energy, even kind of like bluesy influence type of stuff. I just want to step out of my comfort zone too.
Dope. I think I like... Why? You know why? I feel like so many artists are young and it's easy to hop on that pop train. Personally, I think I kind of no, you're good. That's hilarious. I hope people listening like think you just cracked open like a beer. It's a polar seltzer water if you're not watching. Not sponsored. But you know, I think it's so easy to hop on like the pop trend or whatever. Do you listen to like that type of music? Like, do you just feel more connected when you're making that type of music?
Like, just like the music that I make?
Yeah.
Or like pop? Okay. Yeah, I mean, honestly, I don't really think about it. I just make, like, I just kind of sit there with my guitar or piano or just like a notepad and just do what comes to mind. I don't really have every time I write, I don't have direct influences. I don't think of an artist and I'm like, I'm going to write like them.
Yeah.
I just let it all, like, I usually do a couple months of just listening and then let it all simmer and let myself just express through what I've been influenced by, whether it's direct or not. So
interesting. Yeah. Has a lot of your stuff born from being in Boston?
I'd say a lot of it is, yes. I mean, I only started getting a little bit of traction after I came to Boston. And I credit that to all the people that have like inspired me, a lot of my friends and a lot of people that I've been able to work with, as well as like my drive. I feel like I came here and I was so inspired to just do and like put things out and make stuff. So it's just like that kind of difference. And just being around and watching other musicians do their thing really inspires me.
Let's talk about Train to Imperia. As I said, that's the first track I heard of yours, but I mean, it's also your most streamed track, almost at 1 million plays. Yes. Lizzie McAlpine, say that right?
Yeah.
Features her. Why do you think that one resonated with so many people?
I don't know. It was very random, honestly.
I always love the origin story.
Yeah, it's so weird. I was in my freshman year, my spring semesters when I made it, and it was actually, I had a freestyle over a Tiana Taylor beat from her last album, and I just loved that beat, and I was like, what happens if I would like rap over that? And I put that out on SoundCloud, kind of the summer before I got to Berklee, and then what happened? Yes, I put it on SoundCloud. That started to get a ton of streams on SoundCloud. I don't know. I don't check it. I don't know how much it has right now.
Interesting. Yeah. Because like, what is SoundCloud's algorithm? Does it just push it out, or were people just discovering it?
I have no clue. And I was surprised by that. I was like, okay. And then kind of like a year later, I was like, I like these lyrics. I want to use them. So my friend Jason, shout out to Jason. He plays guitar and he's a killer producer, and he. As we did in our freshman year, we were just like, let's make some shit. Like let's make something cool. And I was like, oh, I have an idea. Like, I want you to play guitar. Because at the time, I didn't really play guitar like that. I really just picked it up and learned over COVID.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's fun. So he played. We try to like kind of recreate the beat, but not like too similarly, and make it our own. And he played this progression. We were like, oh my god, this is crazy. So then I like made the drums. I put the bass line in, and that was the beat. And I didn't have a hook. I just had the rap. Like I had the first verse, and then I wrote the second verse after I had the hook. So it all just kind of like came together organically. And I think the reason people might, to answer the question, the reason that people might resonate with it, like logically, are the lyrics.
Yeah.
I feel like if it resonated with people the first time on a freestyle beat, then it might resonate with them on the actual song that I put out. But it could be the melody. It could be how fast I go into the chorus. It's a bunch of things. But I think it's a very personal song. And I was just trying a bunch of new things, having like a female voice and Lizzie's voice singing the background vocals, and even having a trumpet. Like that's something I've never had on a song. And after that, I just fell in love with like writing trumpet parts or like playing trumpet. I tried to pick up trumpet too, and I played a little bit of trumpet on my album, but nowhere near like my friends that can play. Like shout out to Caleb Lattimore, who played on that song. Just crazy talented people. So yeah,
I feel like that whole story is kind of indicative of the fact that like you are an artist. Like you're able to, I think that's really cool that you're able to take something on SoundCloud and kind of repurpose it to fit like your singles artistry. I think that's dope. That's a great move, both like professionally and also like just artistically.
Right. Yeah, I agree. And I think it was a move in a different direction too. I feel like everything else I'd put out before then was just kind of like subpar and very like not like authentic, and I wanted to just be authentic with my music and like really just speak about myself in a way that was vulnerable, and I wasn't doing that before. So
and when you feel good about the shit you're putting out, it makes it so much better. And like you can tell, I feel like I was surprised to hear like all the fucking instruments that you just mentioned are relatively new, because it all sounds super polished. And you know, I would have never guessed that you are still a student and like pursuing your full-time degree. So yeah, I mean, I definitely, it sounds super seasoned.
Cool, thank you. Yeah, and it's funny because I literally had no idea what I was doing with like mixing or mastering or anything. I just kind of like did it by ear. But like the fact that I know so much more about it now, and I feel like it was on my album, but I remixed it and I remastered it, so it does sound better. If anybody wants to like try and listen to the two and do like an A/B kind of thing, but yeah, it's just wild, honestly.
So
just like how things change.
That's 2020. Obviously, you are doing a whole lot of learning, whether it be from school, the fact that you just had more time, COVID, and apparently you just love learning new shit on your own. What's next? Like, what have you tapped into? What have you learned that you're excited to get out?
Honestly, I think I've been a lot more into recording and learning about like the recording process and techniques that are great. And I'm learning a lot of that in my classes. But yeah, I just want to get cool sounds that like nobody else has, just through like placing a mic a little differently, or yeah, just having access to those studios now too is like crazy, because I'm probably never gonna step foot in a studio like that ever again. Which is
not with that attitude.
No,
no, but I understand what you're saying. Like there's no foreseeable thing in the immediate future where you'll get access to that. So definitely take advantage of it. But do know that if you keep it up, that is very much so possible.
Right. Yeah, that's true. That's very true.
Very, very much so. So do you guys have like free reign? Can you use their stuff at your leisure?
You can, yeah. So you have to book like a day in advance to use it for like practice time. But it's right now it's like crazy. All the students came back from the COVID times, and it's just overbooked. So it's really hard to get a booking. But you have like set practice time or project times that you go in to do your projects, which is nice.
Yeah. Are you confined? Like, do you have to meet certain standards when you like? Do you have to make music for projects or no?
Yes.
And are you confined to certain things?
Not necessarily, no, because I'm taking this class right now where you have to produce another artist. And I'm producing my friend Chloe Southern, who's an amazing songwriter. So you can literally do whatever you want. Like if they come to you with a song, it can be whatever the song is, whatever they want it to be, as long as you produce it for them.
Oh, that's dope.
Which is cool. I really like that.
That like cool, that eases up the fact that like it's still an assignment and like there's stipulations there.
Yeah.
Speaking about songwriting, I actually wanted to break down a few lyrics in Train to Imperia.
Of course. Specifically,
my favorite lyrics from it. I have them written down. How do you expect me to write about love when I can't love myself and I'm being a little hyperbolic? Of course, I love myself, but I fixate on the negatives, need to work on turning them all into positives.
Right.
I feel like we're talking why that resonates. I feel like right there is such a great example of something everyone can relate to. Wondering like what exactly kind of led to those lyrics.
Yeah. I mean, that was at a time where I was just kind of like struggling with myself and like my confidence and like my purpose in life. But I mean, I'm optimistic about a lot of things, but I can get myself down a lot. So I think I was just trying to like, while writing that, I was trying to like convince myself that it's going to be okay. Mm-hmm. And like most of the time it will be okay. It's just like a problem of overthinking things. And I think that's why a lot of people can resonate with it, because I think as humans, we always tend to like exaggerate certain emotions.
Everything.
Yeah, everybody does it. So yeah, I mean,
dope. I think the whole idea of like turning a negative into a positive when it directly relates to yourself, it's again sounds cliche, but when you actually do it, you're like, oh damn, like this is one of those things where like you really can refocus a lot of your thoughts that you didn't realize are like internalized and just wrong.
Exactly.
So that's dope. I'm sure that's why a lot of people caught onto it. I know that was one of the standouts for me. Brings me into your next track, or your most recent track, your favorite songs.
Yes.
Is that a little just kind of a one-off track? Is it alluding to something else?
There may be something on the way. I'm working on some stuff. I can't really say anything yet because it's all kind of like from the ground up right now.
We got it.
But I'm planning to put out a little something, like a little EP.
Dope.
Couple songs, maybe like 3-4 songs, just of new content, a very new style. But also the style that you guys might like. It's just very similar, very authentic, but also just like tone-wise and sound-wise, kind of different turn.
Interesting. Lyrically, what's been on your mind lately?
Lyrically, a lot more romantic songs, a lot more love songs. Yeah, when you find someone. But yeah, a lot of that good stuff, which is weird because I thought I'd never write songs like that, and here I am. So
dude, that's awesome.
It's crazy.
That's such a great feeling.
It is, and they're fun songs to write. I think it's new for me, so it's really exciting. I can just like write a bunch of new things going on in my head. Yeah, so it'll be interesting. A lot of cool stuff. I'm trying to work on more kind of like experimental sounding stuff too. A few of the songs are a little more hard hitting. So it'll be fun. A little bit more rap based. A lot more singing based.
Yeah, because I mean, you got bars, by the way. For anyone that hasn't heard his track, he's not just like your classic singer. Man spits some heat.
Yeah, I mean, singing's kind of recent for me. I didn't used to sing a lot.
Yeah, I heard in an interview you said you don't even call yourself a singer.
No. I mean, I guess I am now. I have to call myself a singer because I do like singing. I enjoy it. Do I practice? I probably should. But yeah, I started off rapping, and that's why I fell in love with like hip hop production and like just like beats and groove, and I'm a drummer too. Like that's how I got into Berklee, and I love drums opposed to any other instrument just because I can sit and groove, and like listening to hip hop is just a straight pocket groove, and I love that.
Dope. Okay, well, I mean, it seems like we've got a whole collection of new, unique, experimental, maybe your most polished stuff yet. Yeah. I'm pretty stoked for it, and also the love lyrics. Yeah. That's I when it comes from a good place, I feel like, I don't know, it kind of, I feel like, you're writing tracks and it's like, why do I hate myself? Like it's gonna kind of affect the production or just like your overall state, if you're feeling so dark. So to be able to channel like actually joy into art is always a good thing. And I feel like even myself, I always forget to like create in a great headspace. I feel like a lot of creatives do it when they're like under pressure or something.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what was weird to me. I kind of just like observed that, like, wow, I was sad, but now I'm like super happy in my songs, and it's a strange dynamic.
Yeah,
it's really weird, but it's a good step forward to keep things fresh, honestly. I don't think people would love to hear me sad for however long I keep doing this, so like.
It's a cool little like journal or diary to have too for yourself.
Exactly. It's like a record of your emotions in your life over the years, which is cool.
And other people can relate to it too. Like if you like scroll back in your Spotify library, you can like tell. I'm like, okay, December. I was going through it. A lot of like Phoebe Bridgers going on there.
Oh yeah.
But then like we got some Dua Lipa on the queue.
That's funny.
All right. So that being said, when you get your degree, what's next? Like, are we going artist full time, or what are we thinking?
I think I'm gonna try to be a full time artist. I think I'm at a point where I can try to make the pushes and the efforts to do it. I just got to put like my whole heart into it. I'm probably gonna go out west, probably to LA. My family's out in California. They moved last year from the UK, so it'll be nice to be close to family too. And that's where a lot of what I want to do.
Yeah, it's a spot to be.
Yeah, so that's my goal. And as well as that, I'd love to keep like producing for people, like as like an artist and as like just as a producer and a writer. I think that's a huge passion of mine, and I love that so much.
Dope. Well, I'm pretty excited, man. I'm pretty confident that things are gonna. Not that they're not looking up now, but are gonna look up even more. And you're really gonna find your stride, dude.
Thank you. Yeah.
I'm stoked. Hey, do you like Nintendo 64?
Oh, yeah.
All right, so we have a game.
Okay.